Hi, everyone. Welcome back to More Than Just Task Management on this typical Canadian Saturday, if I may say so, as we expect more than 30 centimeters of snow in the GTA area today and tomorrow. My name is Anna Angelova, and I am a business coach and consultant specializing in productivity and personal development. And as usual, I have Jores today with me as a co host of this podcast.
Hi everyone, I'm Jores I'm the co-host of this podcast and a co-founder of Plandor. And today we're here to talk about something that a lot of high achievers struggle with: taking time off. Yes, we have clients, deadlines, projects, invoices to submit, etc. But what if we told you that taking time off and rest is actually a productivity strategy?
Oh yeah, and here's the thing. Like this week, we have been talking so much about Go achievement with focus, like all the lessons we learned from the Super Bowl, right? With focusing on what matters, with progress, not perfection, and it's Saturday, so why not talk about leisure a little bit, and especially really break down the mental and emotional benefits of taking time off. And why it's not laziness, right? Like we might think, oh, if I'm not doing work, it's I'm lazy. I should be doing more. Like all those shoes and must. And we also cover, like we want to focus on the why, and then also cover a few ideas on how to actually strategically, and especially like as a business owner, right? Strategically integrate some recovery into your routine.
Mm. Absolutely. But let's start with talking about the elephant in the room. Or is it the pink elephant in the room? Why do so many people feel guilty about taking breaks?
This is a great question, and I love the pink elephant in the room. Don't think about pink elephants, right? So here is the thing. We live in a culture that's obsessed with hustling, right? And we read about it. Like we read about all those successful people who get up at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., right? And they start the day and they work. It's we are constantly bombarded by the idea that 24/7, like grinding 24/7, always being on, that now consumers expect for you to respond immediately, right? The immediate gratification, that you need to be there like in seconds, in a flash, and that this is the key to success. And it's really like this is something that, as I said, like there's so many articles out there, so many things focus on, oh, do more, work harder. If you work 20 hours a day, you'll succeed, kind of thing.
Mm.
But the thing is that if you actually really look at the most successful people, like whether they're business owners or athletes, they don't hustle 24/7. They don't grind. Like they don't subscribe to hustle culture. They don't operate this way.
Absolutely. And when you push yourself without recovery, your brain goes into this mode called chronic stress mode, where your IQ drops, your focus, you're unable to, you can't focus anymore, your memory drops, and your emotional regulation also diminishes. Very interesting. Anna, the book we read, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And there's a scenario where the Ferrari owner asks the monk, I don't have time to recover, and he says, well, the monk's answer is, imagine you're sitting in your Ferrari and you're driving it around, and the gas light comes on, and you look at the gas light flickering, and you say, I'm too busy to gas up. What will happen? Eventually, the car would run out of gas, and you'll stop. So that's exactly the same thing happens to our brains and our cognitive features when we don't recover, rest and recover.
I love this. By the way, I love this analogy with the car, that like you stop to gas up, right? Like when you are running low, you usually stop to gas up or charge whatever car you have right now. I love this analogy. And the other thing, it's so funny because yesterday we started watching Anger Management again, and when you were saying about the chronic stress mode and when we are tired and sleep deprived, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
in the episode we were watching, Charlie wanted to actually was doing an experiment with his group where he wanted to put them in a sleep deprivation mode and
To
see
get
what
the truth
happens
out of them. Yeah.
as
No, he
therapy,
wanted to
right?
get the truth out of them. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, yeah. So it's definitely. It, there are consequences, right? There are consequences to these kind of things, and the thing is that uh, when we rest well, right? When we are rested well, and like sleep is so important actually. Like sleep is so key, and this is something that we do every single day, right? We're not even talking about vacations yet. We're not talking about intentional breaks. We're just talking about sleep, like and the way that rest in general helps us mm, recover. And like if we are going to like even all the hormones and like cortisol, for example, levels, emotional regulation in general, like how sleep helps us reduce this, like the stress hormone,
Mhm.
right? Cortisol.
Yeah.
It helps us reduce this the level of cortisol, um, and when our cortisol level is reduced, like we can manage our emotions better, like we can
Mm.
see things clearly and be more creative. And
Yeah.
it's no wonder that sometimes like what happens is when you're well rested, when in the morning especially, you just get out of bed after a great night's sleep, you take a shower and you get idea after idea, right? Like this is not a surprise because resting and allowing our brains to flush, like when we sleep, actually our brains flush everything and recharge. It's like a magical thing
Reset.
happening at night, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Just like Windows 95, our brain is needs resetting. And that's what resting does. Like interesting, you mentioned sleeping and napping. Our brain, it's not like a battery that diminishes. It actually requires reset. And one of the regions in our brain that regulates decision making, problem solving, and impulse control is the prefrontal cortex. And when we take rest, whether it's a long vacation or intentional short breaks, we force this reset on our brain. And that's why like everything gets we don't lose our memory, but the decision making becomes more powerful.
Absolutely. And it's uh, I know that a lot of people are aware of this, like our listeners and viewers, like we are aware of this, and the thing is that ultimately, in a way, we all know what we need to do. It's a matter
Mm,
of doing it. And sometimes it's just
yeah.
about the reminder. Because, again, like just hearing these things again, how powerful it is, and thinking about your own, actually, if you think about your own experiences, your own, and it can be actually an experience you just had yesterday. Like yesterday was Friday, right? Or an experience you had this week where you were tired and your decision making suffered from this. Like your ability
Mm,
to respond calmly to situations suffered, and then compare this to a day in the past week or so where you were actually well rested. How, like, compare the difference, right? Like you can see this from
mm,
all your own experience. And it's really, um, I don't think we can emphasize enough on the importance of taking
mm,
breaks, and like especially sleep, right? Especially sleep when it comes to long-term success and achieving your goals. Yes, in the short term you can actually like a little bit of cortisol and a little bit of that energy, that destructive energy, that catabolic energy, that's associated with stress. In the short term it can be actually very beneficial. Like if you need to run the
mm,
sprint from running away from, not that you can outrun a tiger, but like imagine you can. It's beneficial, but in the
mm,
long term, it's really harmful. And if you again, like if you think about recent days when you were tired, when you didn't sleep well, when you were overworked, chances are you were snapping at people. Chances are
Mhm.
that you felt overwhelmed, you felt like physically, emotionally, mentally, you were second guessing yourself and everything you were doing. And this is a sign that you are pushing yourself hard, that you need to actually pause for a second. Like you said, push that reset button.
Yeah. And then when we stay in this work mode for a prolonged periods of time, what happens that we stop thinking strategically and we start making decisions based on emotions, which even if, like you said, Anna, go back into your days, your weeks, and even years, and review the wrong decisions that you make. Most of them was because you were either tired or stressed, and you made decisions based on emotion, and that's what needs to be reset.
But when we talk about emotions here, we talk about emotions that are more towards the constructive emotions that are no, not constructive, but the destructive emotions,
Destructive.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not the
Absolutely.
constructive emotions, the
Yeah.
destructive ones, like coming out of
Mm-hmm.
that tiredness, out of frustration. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah,
Yeah, mental
absolutely.
fatigue. Yeah, yep.
And I know we've been discussing sleep and how important it is, but like, why taking time off fuels your mind and business? When you think about time off, it's not just sleeping, it's also breaks,
Disconnect. Yeah, it's
disconnect.
disconnect. Yeah, yeah. So
And
important.
it includes things you do throughout the day, and it also includes weekends and even vacations, like a little bit longer vacations. I think I remember, um, like I think it was Darren Hardy. He was saying how like he tries to structure some of his breaks in a way that like every month or something like this he has a long weekend, and then every quarter he actually has a 1 week vacation, something like this, where it really allows him to step away from the business, to step away from the work, and come back recharged.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot of things in life are actually counterintuitive, and this is one of the things. That's why I really love the book about thinking in systems. And she was saying there. Oof, I forgot her name, but the author of the book, like she was saying there that uh, like when we think about a system, like in generally the way our brains work, and because we are taught throughout our education in life, most of the education we get, like we're taught to think linearly, in a linear way, and where in the world most things are part of systems. And when we think about systems, we can actually uh, pretty quickly see, like when you think about a system, we can pretty quickly see where the lever is. Lever?
Liver. Yeah.
Yeah, where the lever is. However, one thing that they found through research is that we usually uh, think that it should be pushed one way to improve the output of the system to make things better. We think it should be pushed one way, where it's actually the other way. So
Mm-hmm.
while we're good at spotting the key points, like the key place where we need to make a change, we're thinking, oh, the change should go in this direction, where it should go in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a lot of things, like we're saying that, oh, it's counterintuitive to when you talk about that taking vacations and taking time off actually help us perform at higher level.
Mm-hmm. No, I love this. Actually, I was just thinking about I'm gonna add a rest as a leadership skill in my CV. I think that's really important for yourself and for your team.
That's cool.
I'm gonna do that. Yeah, I'm gonna make it like one of the bullet points would be rest, and then that would be a conversation opener as well.
I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
Uh, and here is the thing that it's a leadership skill that helps you for your business when you think about it, but it also impacts your personal life, right? Like how you show up for your family, how you show up for your friends, and even just personally for yourself. Like it's really like it impacts your whole life. Like it's not just the business. And I know a lot of us are business owners, whether we are solopreneurs or like work with others, but it's a matter of your whole life. The way that it really allows like taking time off to disconnect from everything, and
Mhm.
we know with family, like I think when I was at IPAC going through the coaching program, through the coaching training program, one of our trainers, he mentioned, like teachers, he mentioned it's like a joke, but then like there is truth about it, that family and fish start stinking after 3 days. So we need to disconnect. Like we need to disconnect even from our families, even from our friends,
Mhm.
and sometimes though the problem is that like what happens is um, when like a lot of us, like what happens is that like I think Jim Rohn in one of the books from Jim Rohn, like he mentioned this thing with like how someone he was like at work, he was thinking, oh, I should be with my family, and then when he was with his family, he was thinking, oh, I should be at work. And it's like those that joke with sending a postcard from your vacation. Yeah, a postcard is something I don't know, younger people might not be aware of what postcards are, but anyway, so like sending a postcard from your vacation saying it's wonderful, I wish I was here. Yeah, because all the time you think about work, and this is not break. By the
Mhm.
way, this is not resting. This is not recharging. Like
Absolutely.
when you take time off, you're 100% off. When you are on, you're 100% on. And
Mhm.
if you feel guilt, frustration, or kind of disconnection, like this is not the point. Like if you feel, when you are at work, you feel guilty because you think, oh, I should be at home. But if you're at home, you feel guilty that, oh, I should be working. No, 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 no. This is actually another sign that you need to pause and really
Mhm.
strategically reconsider what's going on.
Yeah, I think we've completely forgotten how to disconnect, and it's not completely like our fault. I blame technology. I remember in the mid '90s, and I don't want to age myself, when I worked at the pre-internet company where we were building all the internet stuff, and we would go for a resort for a week. There was no cell phone, there was no laptop for us to take. Laptops were very expensive. The cell phones didn't have the reach that they did. So that week that we were away, it was a real disconnect. But now you go out, whether you're in a resort or a hotel or airport or a restaurant, everyone is scrolling. Everyone is on their phones. Everybody is, oh, if my phone dinged and I don't answer it, it's maybe people start feeling guilty. I mean, there's a saying that says if you come back from vacation and you still remember your password, you were not on vacation. And I believe in that.
Very
We
true.
need
Yeah, yeah, very
we need
true.
to reskill, bring back, and disconnect is not just leaving the office or leaving your house and go into another country. Disconnect is mental. It's a mental state where you stop thinking about all the stuff that it's in. We're talking about productivity, daily tasks, and all that stuff is on our heads. When you clear all of that, that's when you actually get reset. And that's why sleeping, because when you sleep, none of this matters anymore. Your brain automatically resets everything.
I think you hit the nail on the head with like that one of the main reasons we are having problems with disconnecting is the fact that everything is at our fingertips right now. And actually, nowadays, when you're thinking about rest, it's really a leadership skill. It's really a skill that we all need to develop for ourselves and our teams, especially as business owners and as leaders in our communities and organizations. And one of the things that can be really helpful in this aspect is when you think about the time that you take off, especially if it's like the weekend or vacation, that it needs to be active. Like so, ultimately, like one of the ways that we need to start thinking about time off and rest and recovery is like really putting some planning into it as well. And I think I know I'm mentioning sometimes like or a few times today even like Darren Hardy, but I think he was saying this thing that he actually does this because he's also like he loves he working and like he would, if he doesn't have anything planned, he would open his laptop and start working. And he was giving an example that he plans, like he plans activities for the weekend, for vacations, so he knows like. And planning doesn't mean that activities doesn't mean that you do. Part of the planned activities can be just go to the park and sit there on a bench, right? Like and just be listen to, well, here in Canada right now, I don't do this, but let's imagine you are in Florida and just go to the beach, sit down, and just like breathe in the air from the ocean, and like this is an activity that you can plan, right? Activity, yeah, go ahead.
When we're in the planning, when you plan your downtime, give it the same importance as work, or else you will always push it away. I think a few episodes back, I told the viewers that my calendar is booked every day for 1 hour, energize, whatever you want to call it. I reject every meeting that comes for that hour, whether it's a client or coworker, or I don't care how important it is. That 1 hour. So when you schedule your downtime, your disconnect, give it that important, even maybe higher, right?
Yeah,
Because if it starts this toxic cycle of going down this, this wrong decision making and emotional decay, you want to reset. So I think it should be, whether you're putting in your calendar or work calendar or life calendar, highest importance.
That's so true, because here is the thing that you can have something in your calendar, and that's why I sometimes calendars, like when I see this, I'm like, really? Like if you already had a meeting and then you accept another one and then you accept another one and you have like 3 or 4 concurrent meetings at the same time, like are there 4 of you? What the thing, like it's like
Yeah.
anyway, so yeah, I completely agree with what you were saying, that once you plan it, and here we are talking about like whether it's like the weekend or a vacation or even during the day, like being off, it doesn't mean taking a vacation. Like being off is, like you said, it can be an hour you have during the day where, like Joris, you exercise, right? Like you spend this time doing workouts, lifting weights and things like this. I go for a run, and it can be, and it doesn't have to be an hour, right? It can be 30 minutes, like breaks throughout the day are also important. And I think there's actually not, I think, I know, like there's actually science that like our energy goes up and down, right? Like throughout the day. And we have a limit where like we can be in flow state for up to, I think, approximately like 90 minutes or so, up to 2 hours, I think. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like, again, what scientists have, like researchers have noticed is that after that, the time we spend working, like the time we spend, and we're talking mentally, right? Like a lot of the things we're talking about is mental work, not that much the physical, but even with physical work, uh, at some point, like whether it's mental work you do or physical work you do, when you have the energy, like when you start doing it, like your output is good, right? Like you're at a certain level where like you're really productive, efficient, and effective. And then as you continue working, it starts diminishing, right? It starts diminishing. So even throughout the day, like it's really, really important to take those breaks and put a reminder, block your time off. And Joris, I love what you're saying, that once you block your time off, you keep it sacred, as if you were meeting with, I don't know, whoever you want to meet, the Pope, the President,
Elon Musk.
the King, whoever
Yeah.
whoever you want to meet. Like, imagine this is a meeting with the most important person in the world. With it is actually, because you are the most important person in your world, and this is a meeting for yourself, whether it's to meditate, to do some yoga, to go for a walk, whatever it is for you to recharge. It is a meeting with the most important person in the world, you.
Absolutely. All right. We just had another great session. Let's wrap it up. And if you want to take one thing away from today's session, it's this sentence: rest isn't a reward for hard work, it's the fuel that makes your best work happen. And if
I
you
love it.
remember this every day, even repeat it to yourself. Part of your weekly, daily strategy that you do early in the morning, you ask yourself, I need rest today. Have I scheduled rest in my calendar? Go to your calendar to make sure, like Anna said, doesn't mean you take a vacation or you walk away. 10-minute micro break. Those are very important.
Absolutely. And I love it. I love what you said, like that sentence. I'm actually thinking of printing it in front of me. And it's not a reward. Rest is what
Feel.
actually fuels us, and set the example. Like, as the leader, especially as the business owner, like as the leader, you're the one who sets the example. You set the example for people you don't even think you set an example for, including your kids, including your family. So set an example by recharging, and as I said, when you're off, be 100% off. When you're on, be 100% on. And we will be discussing in future episodes, we'll be discussing ways to actually help you kind of like really close the work and not worry about it while you're off. Like, we'll be discussing this kind of thing. So remember to subscribe. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with others who might benefit from hearing this, that like, it's time to rest and recover. And especially if you are in Ontario, we have a long weekend, by the way. It's Family Day long weekend. Monday is off, so don't log in. It's you know, just a reminder.
And
Whoever
we
is
love to hear
listening.
from you. Yeah, we love to hear from you.
Yeah. Leave a
We're
comment.
Yeah, leave a comment. Tell us what you think. What's your experience with resting or not resting? We don't have PhDs and 16 degrees and doctorates. Our experience comes from living this. We have lived this, we have recognized it, and we practice it. So, and we love sharing it with you. So please share back with us and tell us what you think.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, time to rest and recover. Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
Micro
And
break.
we'll actually be here tomorrow as well with another interesting topic to help you enjoy your weekend and also prepare for the week ahead.
Yep.
Have a
Bye for
wonderful
now.
day. Bye. Bye.